All right, we're live. Live again. Episode 2, podcast number 2.
Pretty good. Old men trying to figure out technology.
This is ridiculous. Well, we're both on our second webcam.
Yeah.
And I am now on a brand new microphone as well. So when I told you that going from $30, we're going to be spending thousands for
This is it. If anybody's watching or watches it later, maybe leave a comment. If you watch the first one, think this one looks a little bit better. Sounds better, hopefully. Yeah. So how was your Christmas, man?
It was good, man. How about you?
It's pretty good.
Fast. Didn't really feel like Christmas this year.
No doubt, dude. It's so warm here. I don't know about up where you're at, but
yeah, same thing.
It's nuts. It's like I'm off all week and it's like already Friday. It's like, how the hell, man?
I know. I had 2 days off in a row. It's the first time I've had 2 days off since I think October, the beginning of October, because my dad had surgery on a hernia and I took a couple days. But other than that, I've been in the shop 6 days a week.
Holy crap.
But yeah, it was definitely down this year compared to other years. I don't know. I know my whole area around here is they're complaining about retail sales being down and all that stuff. So we're kind of falling into that same thing.
Yeah. And we were out yesterday, stopped to get a couple things. Where the hell were we at? Target, I think. And they already have Valentine's Day stuff getting ready to put out. And it's like,
I know.
Freaking kid. It's like, it's the day after Christmas, man. And you're already getting ready for the next one.
It's crazy.
So we both saw Star Wars.
We did.
The newest.
I've seen it. I'm on my 4th time.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm going on Saturday.
Holy crap, dude.
Again, because I got a couple. My oldest son hasn't seen it yet, and my little guy wants to go. And
right on.
So I think I'm going to go again, but there is illegal downloads out there that you can find as well. So
yeah, of course. I think we're going to try and go this again this weekend. So, but if anybody's interested, we're going to talk about that at the end here and kind of talk about it, what we thought to begin with, and then do a spoilers version, and we'll give a warning.
Yeah.
So,
because I know there's definitely stuff that I have to talk to you about. Because I know some of it's good, some of it's like, what the hell? And
hopefully, I can remember everything, dude. That movie kind of flew by, man. Watching it.
Here's my notes.
Right on.
Yeah.
So you sent me a thing week or two ago. There's a new Supersuckers album coming out. Like just all of a sudden got announced, kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, Acetate Records and the Supersuckers is good for just throwing it out on a Friday afternoon or something. I didn't see the initial press release for it. I guess came out, I want to say 10 days ago, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And I got the Acetate Records email that I always get, but I just saw the Supersuckers in the title and assumed that they were just announcing another tour. I didn't really think there'd be an album this quick, but
it looks like a full-on Supersuckers, not like one of the country albums or anything.
No, it's full on. You can hear the first single on YouTube already.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, and then I mean, I the last album, which was Suck It, was hit or miss for me. I liked half of it, and I liked the I just thought the other half was okay.
Was that Get the Hell or whatever? Was that the
last? It was called Suck It.
Okay.
Had the
Octopus or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know what was. It didn't sound like a rushed album, but it didn't have that punch that they normally do. But I'll tell you, the first single off the new record kind of reminds me of Motherfuckers Be Trippin'. So I'm kind of hoping that they go back to that.
Right on. I see they're reissuing some of the old albums too, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember which ones I saw. I can't remember now, but I saw a couple of them, and I don't know if Acetate's doing it or who's doing it.
Well, I know they were playing their first two records, I think, in their entirety, the Sub Pop stuff.
Okay.
So maybe that's the stuff they're reissuing. I don't know.
I think one of them was Evil Powers of Rock and Roll.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites.
I may be wrong. Yeah, that era right around in there, man. That stuff.
Now that you said that, I saw a green vinyl version of it or something, and I was like, I don't remember ever seeing that, so I don't know what the deal with that is. Maybe that's the reissue.
Yeah, maybe. Could be.
But yeah, I do know that there's a song on the new album called Dead Jail and Rock and Roll, and it's got to be a Michael Monroe cover.
Really? That's cool. Well, that's got me excited.
Yeah.
It has to be, man.
I would think. Yeah, I would think.
Oh, my God. Those guys, if you've never heard of Supersuckers, you're watching us, never heard of Supersuckers, go check them out. Just full on rock and roll, and like, they're one of those bands just keeping it alive. You know what I mean? To me, they rank up there with Motorhead, AC/DC, Slayer. They just had that sound they have. They keep going. They don't give a fuck. And they put out, excellent albums, man. Like you said, even the last one may have had a little bit of hit or miss, but it's still a fucking Supersuckers record, and it's still great, worth checking out,
Yeah, I don't know what it was with that record. It just didn't hit me like Get the Hell. I thought every track on that record was amazing, and
that was good. Yeah, that was a good record.
I mean, every record I think has been pretty good. I really started getting heavy into them in the Motherfuckers Be Trippin' era, and because I knew like the Sub Pop stuff was a little too punky for me at the time.
Yeah, I kind of put them in there with the Helicopters, like when they first started.
Yep.
Their early stuff is kind of, a little too punky and all that. And then they hit on that sound.
That 70s.
Yeah. And they just killed it after that. And Supersuckers kind of the same thing, that early stuff, Sub Pop and all that. And then they hit on that sound, just that cranked up Marshall rock and roll.
Yeah, I think they really found that sound on Evil Powers.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the one before that was Born with a Tail. Still one of my favorite Supersuckers.
What the hell's the name of that album? I can't even remember now. But that whole era kind of goes together.
That La Sexta, or no, that's White Zombie. It's something Spanish, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember now. But anyways, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Definitely anything Supersuckers. I usually don't pick up their country stuff.
Oh, I do. I love their country stuff too. Their last country record they did, I thought was amazing.
Now the Eddie Spaghetti solo, I have one of his. That's killer.
Yeah. He's done three or four now.
Yeah.
He hasn't done one in a long time now, solo record. It's been at least 6 years, I think, since he's done a solo album.
But man, you talk about road dogs, man.
That's where you got to make your money.
Yeah, those guys live on the road. What, he had cancer and was off the road for what, maybe 8 months?
Not knowing if he was ever going to sing again.
Right. And right back at it. And they've been on the road ever since he got rid of it.
I remember when he had the cancer, he had that big ass scar running down his.
Yeah, he was posting
like his whole throat. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really didn't think it looked good for him at the time.
Yeah.
And I was really bummed, but he came back from it pretty well, and everything's good from what I understand. So,
have you heard any other new releases coming soon?
It's been really quiet this year, as far as late 2019 going into 2020. It's been, they haven't really announced anything yet that's except for the Supersuckers that I'm like super excited about.
Well, you should have an AC/DC coming soon, right?
You would think. I mean, it's been a year and a half since those pictures of them up in Canada recording some new shit, and
I think I read somewhere Maiden.
There's a rumor that they've already finished a new record.
Say they were either recording or just finishing. So, and I'm on the fence on that. I'll be honest. I'll pick it up because it's Maiden, but they've went in such a progressive direction. Yeah. It just kind of lost me.
It's still my first. The first two Maiden records are always going to be my favorite.
Really?
Yeah. They had that punky vibe to it, and the singer was a little gruffer, and he had that sound. I love those records.
Yeah, anything from the '80s I love.
Yeah,
and I liked Brave New World. the comeback.
Oh yeah, that was a great record. Yeah,
I mean, that was very 80s Maiden sounding to me, anyways. So,
I mean, I love Power Slave, but
mm,
I think some of my favorite records from the Dickinson era has got to be, for me anyway, is Somewhere in Time and Seventh Son.
really,
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I love both of those records.
me was probably Peace of Mind and then Power Slave, because I kind of, being my age, I kind of found them.
That's when you got into them.
Yeah, it was like right at the end of Number of the Beast, and then Peace of Mind came out, because that was kind of the first new Maiden album,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the first Maiden record I ever bought, I was like 14. It was Live After Death, so that's probably why I like Somewhere in Time and Seventh Son, because they were like right after I got into them. So.
Right, it's cool. It's all. I've talked to LJ about this. It's all age, man, and when timing.
It is,
because like him and I are like 4 or 5 years apart, something like that, and we like all the bands and then similar bands, but almost same with you saying about Maiden. I think his favorite albums are kind of that era too. You know what I mean? And that's where he kind of jumped on. And I got a friend that's 4 or 5 years older than me, and his favorites are the first two.
Yeah, it's funny because until I went back to the first two, then I was like, okay, I like these albums better. I wish they would get the Ano back.
Crazy. So that's interesting. I mean, like I said, I'll probably pick it up. I don't pick up much new stuff anymore, but I will get the Maiden because it's Maiden.
My son got me my oldest son got me the Motorhead box set for Christmas, the 1979 box set.
Dude, that's awesome.
I know.
Hell yeah.
I was like, what are you, nuts, man? But he's making good coin now, so I was like, well, I hope they do this every year, because next year you're going to have to get me the 1980 box set.
There's like a ton of shit in that box, isn't there?
Yeah, it's all vinyl too, so it's like it's Bomber and what's the other one that came out in 79? Bomber and
Overkill.
Yes, drawing a blank. And then it's got 2 full, like double LPs, double live LPs. Anyway,
Hey, we got a couple people in the chat.
Oh, the StreamYard chat, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. What's up, fellas? What's up, Cloudy?
What's going on, guys?
Bip Bop Boom. That's a great name.
Have you watched John's videos? Bip Bop Boom?
No, which do I know him?
Probably. I bet you've seen some of his
I don't know people's names on, like, I don't know their handle names on or whatever.
Oh, dude, I'm bad with it too.
So what's your CB handle? It's
You
funny because
he's got cool shit. You gotta check him out. He's got cool shit. Awesome.
Yeah, I definitely will. Like I said, I've been so behind on the YouTube stuff, especially with the holiday shit and running the store and everything. So
yeah, I'll believe
John is the bomb.
Hey, both you guys are on the list, man, to have you on here at some point. So
yeah,
just get on here and bullshit with you. So, and speaking of which, the next show will be in the after
in the new year.
Yeah,
hopefully
and we'll have Aaron on.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be able to like do this once a week, or do where me and Greeno can get together once a week and maybe do 2 shows, and I'll edit them and do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Unless there's like major news or some surprise shit like Kiss with Peter Criss and Ace Frehley shows up on Super Bowl halftime or something like that, then we'll just do our regular weekly shows.
Right on.
Even then, even if fucking Kiss came back at halftime at Super Bowl with Ace Frehley and Peter Criss, I could give 2 fucks at this point.
Dude, I've been that way for a while. It's like, it's cool, whatever, do what you guys want to do, but I'm done. They're in that Metallica camp, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love them, but yeah, you don't have to do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all about do the vault stuff, not like the Gene Simmons vault and you have to take out a small loan to buy it, but I mean, look what the Stones are doing, and
Exactly.
Rainbow, I think they're on, and Deep Purple's on that kick too, where they're doing a couple old school live albums a year. And
yeah, I mean, if these guys complain, new records don't sell, fine, don't make a new record. You guys have been around for 75,000 years. Dig back in through the stuff and start releasing it, man. You have a fan base out there; they'll buy that stuff.
I really thought the box set from 20 years ago was going to open that floodgate up with them, but it really didn't.
I don't know.
We did get the History DVDs, but they've been promising more volumes of that for years, and I'm afraid that all the volumes that are left are going to be this lineup. So who wants that shit anyway? So
right. So I don't know. You want to jump in here and
yeah, go for it.
Speaking of exactly what we're talking about here, jumping into the vaults. Have you seen these Riot archive things?
I've seen them on our lists at work.
High Rollers putting them out.
Yeah, I've seen the CD list. Hold on, I'm gonna go full screen on you. That's me. How do I do? There we go.
There you go. But this is volume 1, and this is what I can't remember the years, 76 to 81, and 2 LP set. It's like 18 tracks. Comes with a DVD of that live at my father's place. Yeah, it's been around forever. But this is killer, man. It's like leftover stuff, some remix stuff, and I haven't read everything. Yeah, it comes with a big thing here and everything. Hopefully I'm going the right way. This thing's like backwards now. But the only complaint I have is it really doesn't give you exactly what every track is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, and everything sounds fantastic. I've only played the first vinyl so far, first record so far, and it sounds great. If the rest of it's that good.
They did a CD box set as well, right? Of all that stuff.
I think they did one for each set, right?
Yeah. I would only be interested, I think, in that first set that you have.
Well, I'm going up through the end of the 80s, so, and that's volume 4. It just come out, and I've ordered it. I got the other 2. I still haven't checked out yet, but after that, I'm kind of done. But I mean, I even like the Rep Forrester, and then they got into that thrashy era there for a little bit.
Yeah, I like the Rep Forrester stuff.
Yeah, so I'm good with like I say, I'll go up through the 80s, and if they're all as good as this, I'm beyond happy, man. This really kind of blew me away because at first I thought, okay, it's going to be, how these things are. It's going to be rough recordings and all that, but these sound great, man. So
they're all unreleased tracks for the most part.
Well, it's like, that's the thing. I wish they would have done better and like I say, I haven't read everything yet, so maybe.
I got you.
But I wish they would have done better with telling you what everything was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know there's a little unreleased or some remix stuff, some different versions of stuff and that kind of thing. So,
right.
But so we'll show you that. And the other thing, speaking of acetate, the new Junkyard, finally got that last week. And it's a new release, but it's all old material. So this would have been the 3rd album? Is that correct?
And well, they recorded 2 albums worth of demos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure. Didn't they do some fan club shit like 10 years ago, Jokers and Aces, or was that the second album?
See, that's the thing. They're one of those bands that have popped up and done something here and there, and I didn't keep up with them. So it's very likely maybe some of this stuff has been out before.
I only have a CD for right now.
Killer, man.
That's just because our distributor was out of it, but I ordered the LP, so I should have that.
Cool. But it's called Old Habits Die Hard, if I didn't mention that. But what did you think of it?
I love Junkyard, man. So
same here.
It's one of those things where even if they released them before on that, I think they had an album out called Joker, and I think there was another one. I can't remember the other one. They were selling through their website.
Okay.
And I think it was Chris is the singer or the old guitar player, like Chris Gates or something like that. Anyway, he was.
I can't remember.
he was the guy selling them years ago, and I ordered the 2 unreleased albums. And I would imagine this is stuff from that track, although this probably sounds better because I'm sure it's like professionally mastered now and all
Yeah,
that.
this sounds just as good as the original albums. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember some of that stuff just sounded great, but it sounded unmastered or unmixed. You know, it just, you could tell they definitely worked on it, so, which is good.
But Bob Boom says, yeah, I think 2 CD set. He only wants to hear the guy Speranza stuff like you.
Oh, that's the Riot stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some really good stuff. I mean, they did some. I got into them late. They weren't one of the bands that I immediately attached to. Or
To Riot?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, dude. I mean, yeah.
They were definitely late, and it was one of those things like, who's this? Oh, they're cool. But right. I never really went out and bought anything until I was probably in my 30s. So,
yeah, to be honest, it's probably about the same. I mean, I'd heard what's the name of the Thrashy album, the first one? I'd heard it.
Thunder Steel or something.
Yeah, I had a copy of that, and I think I'd heard some of the Rhett Forrester stuff. But then when I hit my 30s, it was like, I think around that time they reissued a lot of that stuff, those early albums, you know?
Yeah.
On CD, and I checked some of them out. I was like,
yeah, I think Metal Blade did, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's like, man, yeah, Swords and Tequila.
Is that
one of the best songs ever written? Yeah,
yeah.
Metal songs, awesome stuff, man. So, well, that's all I pulled music wise. What do you got?
I got a couple things. I haven't, because with the holidays, I'm gonna show. I'll open the Motorhead thing next time we're on.
Cool.
And that way, if you have it, you don't have it yet, do you?
Nah.
It's definitely now that I saw it, everything in it, it's worth every penny. But
wow. I saw it, but I saw the price, and I'm like, oh man.
I know. I didn't watch this yet, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I think I texted you about this to watch the trailer of the new John Travolta film.
Yeah, you did say something. I haven't checked it out yet.
Okay, well, I picked it up. It came in the mail today, so I'm gonna have a review of this next time. But
right on.
If you want to go and have this could be the best worst movie of 2019, and right. I might even just save it for 2020. That's how good. That's how wickedly bad it looks, but it looks amazing, and it's directed by, of all people, Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit.
No way.
Yes.
How did he get Travolta to do that?
It's Travolta.
What's up with that dude?
It's Travolta. But having said that, Fred Durst, apparently in the middle of this film, there's a scene with a father and son in their car, and apparently it turns into a Limp Bizkit commercial.
No.
Yeah. I actually saw the clip online, and it's like them sitting in the car. Limp Bizkit comes on the radio, the father turns it up, and all of a sudden it's like the whole windshield turns into a transparent, like, Limp Bizkit concert.
Oh my god.
So,
now, is Fred Durst in that Scientology stuff too?
Probably.
How this happened?
He's not smart, so probably. But the first line that John Travolta says in this movie is, "I don't have time, I have to poo." So it's gonna be a classic.
Yeah, I gotta see that.
Yeah. So I went on. I wrote his name down. I should give him Chris Stuckman. He does movie reviews, and he has videos on there. I forget, it's like hilarity or hysterical or something. And I just saw his thumbnail of the bad. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I'm going to try and show it, of the bad Travolta wig. Wait, let's see.
Take your screen full.
This one right here. I'll point to it, and then I'll make the screen full.
Nice.
Do you see what I'm talking about? He's got a fake like mullet,
Yeah.
kind of mohawky mullet. Look at that one. Look at the one right in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Holy moly. See, it doesn't look that bad on the top one because they added more hair to the sides, like to right here.
Right.
I'm all backwards. So, but that's not what it looks like. He has no hair on the sides in the movie, and I can't wait.
Dude, you're going to watch this and be like, this is the greatest fucking movie
I know I am. I saw that Chris Stuckman. I saw he's a YouTuber. Like I said, he does all those movie reviews. That's all he does, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he does the comedy ones like So Bad It's Good.
Yeah.
And we fucking love this film, so I can't wait. And I don't watch him. That was the first time I ever watched a video from him. But like I said, the Travolta wig made me watch it.
That's awesome.
I got that, and then there was one other thing, man. Hold on. Oh, here it is. I forgot to tell you this, but back in the day when I was I'm still friends with them, but when I was working with the guys from Brittany, when Dean Davidson left, he formed that band Black Eyed Susan.
Mm-hmm.
Electric Rattlebone, I think was the album, which I really liked. I thought it was a great record. Bad Reputation in France just reissued it on CD, remastered with a second disc of the Just a Taste, the second album, the unreleased second album from Black Eyed Susan. So
right
I got that.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember that now. I see the cover. Yep. I was like, man, that name's familiar.
Yeah, and then it was basically a bunch of Philly guys that we were all friends with that were in the band. Like Rick Crenini was in the Cinderella. He played keyboards for Cinderella, and a couple. I forget these other guys. I know one of these guys passed away.
What label was that on originally? That was a major, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what he got. He was offered, I think it was over $1 million from I want to say Polygram.
Wow. I remember seeing that around a lot at the time. I think I have a copy of that on disc.
It's a great record. If you like that, I mean, Dean at the time was very he was very worried about what Tom Kiefer was doing.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like the first Britney Fox album sounds like the first Cinderella record.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, because Mike was in Cinderella when the first Cinderella record, he was in that band. So, I mean, a lot of his riffs they're going to sound familiar. But then when Cinderella did Long Cold Winter, if you notice, like Boys in Heat from Britney was a little more, not as 70s glammy sounding, but more kind of like bluesier, like Long Cold Winter was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that record sounded, which is an amazing record. And then when Cinderella did that Heartbreak Station record with the country rock aspect to it and the twanginess of it, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, the new Dizzy Dean record is going to sound just like it with Black Eyed Susan,
Right.
But, he had brought a couple of these tracks in to the guys in Brittany. I think it was Ride With Me, and I remember hearing him do that. I think it was Ride With Me and Best of Friends, which is the two ballads he had written. And when they headlined the Troc here in Philly on that Boys in Heat tour, he made it a point where, he had to go out and do those two tracks by himself.
Wow.
We were like, this is weird, man. Why is he doing this? And then like 6 months later, of course, he quits and forms Black Eyed Susan. But it's a great record. I can't take anything away from. I have nothing personal against the guy. He's just, he was kind of different. He was sometimes he was hard to deal with, but I can't. I'm at the point in my life now. If I ain't got nothing nice to say about somebody, I just ain't gonna say it unless they get pissed off.
Makes life easier, huh?
It does. But I haven't seen Dean in probably since then. It's been over 30 years.
Surprised they haven't tried to do a reunion or something.
We've tried about 4 times over the last. When's the last time we went out? 2001. I went out with them. I think 07. There was a chance. There was a slim chance that they were. I think it was 07. No, 07 is when they went out. When Billy got all different players and called it Brittany Fox. It was just him.
Wow.
So then, of course, like shit started flying around lawsuit wise. Not that anything was ever filed, but just the threat of it.
Right.
So that ended that. And then there was a serious chance about 6 years ago, I want to say now, of Dean, Billy, Johnny, and Mike getting together in a room just to see what happens. But that never happened either. So
wow.
But then they did go. I think Mike's done. Mike's he's retired, man. He lives out west of here now. I don't see him as much as I used to. But he's just doing his thing, man. He doesn't want any parts of that shit anymore. And these guys, the rest of them want to play rock star up until they're 70 years old. And it's like, look, you got to be serious. You got to think of it as the first album went gold, which is 500,000 copies. After that, there's nothing. So,
right.
I mean, it's not like you were poisoned to begin with. So,
yeah.
But whatever. But I haven't heard anything. And I think what ended up happening 4 or 5 years ago is it all fell through. Tommy Paris came back. I think it was Johnny, Tommy, Billy, and then they got another guitar player, which they had Mike's blessing for, which was the first time they've ever done that with his blessing. They've never even bothered calling him before. So,
wow.
But there was talk of a new record. There was talk of this, that, and the other, and it never. I think they played a handful of shows, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then Tommy did a solo album, so I would imagine a lot of that stuff that was written for a possible studio album ended up being Tommy stuff anyway. So.
Yeah, a lot of those guys been apart for a long time, get back in together, and next thing you know, they're opening old wounds again, and it makes you wonder.
Yeah, it didn't even get that far with these guys. Like they constantly shoot themselves in the foot, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Being older now and seeing the music end or the business end of things, it sucks, man. It sucks to be in a band. It does. You get treated like shit. You get ripped off.
Right.
So
it's like about a year ago, the dudes in Wrathchild, all 4 of them, ended up in a room together playing, and posted pictures on the Wrathchild Facebook thing.
Oh, okay. Oops, sorry. Love
Hello.
you. I'll just text you.
All right.
So you know, because I think we might go to Anthony's.
All right. Well, let me know.
All right. Love you.
Love you.
But they post pictures like, hey, this is happening right now. And all 4 of them, instruments. And they actually put up a 20-second video too. You know what I mean? Here and there.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody lost their fucking minds,
I know. I remember you did. You texted me that night.
Yeah. It's like, I just get back together and play one show. Who gives
They
a
were your boys, man. They were like your Britney.
Exactly.
Did you play shows with them or did you?
No, I got a friend that's, I kind of knew him through a friend named Alk. He grew up with Shannon, a drummer. They were like best friends. You know what I mean?
Shannon Larkin, right?
Yeah. So they were always hanging out, and I kind of met him through there. And, I met the guys from Kicks and all that. Not that I knew any of them. I'm not saying that at all. You were just local boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it's the same deal. It's you got Brittany up there, and we had Wrathchild and Kicks down here. You know what I mean? It's like,
dude, I wish we could go back for like 3 days to that like 87, 88, 89. Dude, Philly was the shit as far as music goes. And now it's complete ass.
isn't that everywhere now?
I guess. I don't know, man, but these bands are torn. They just don't come to Philly anymore. You know?
What, like, even around here, man, it's like, I mean, I live in a small area, but there was always musicians jumping around and, you know, band to band, starting this, playing with this.
Right.
And there's none of that now, man. There's hardly any local little dive bars that even have bands other than they're in there just playing classic rock. Old guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a different world now, man. It's an internet world now.
It is. It sucks. I wish the internet would go away, although we wouldn't be able to do this. So
it's such a love-hate thing with this thing, man. You know what I mean? It's so cool to be able to pull up information and find out stuff and all that, but it is totally and utterly destroyed music, I think.
Yeah, that and the human race, anybody under 30. It's destroyed too. I hate to sound like my father or my grandfather before him, but anybody under 30 at this point can kiss my ass.
Well, you know, dude, it's affected me. You know what I mean? I mean, we'll be out somewhere and think, you know, hey, you know, where's this place at? What's that? And you immediately just pull out your phone, don't think about it, and just, you know. And then, you know, you think, it's like, what the hell did I do back in the 80s? Well, I didn't have a phone when I was a kid, and my parents didn't have a phone, but we did fine. You know what I mean? Now, like, you know, if I leave the house without my phone, I feel a little weird. I'm not connected to the freaking board. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, it's funny because back then you would like stop at a gas station to buy, especially if it wasn't your area or state, you would stop at a gas station to buy a map.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you try to find, you got to go on the back and find the street name that you're looking for. And then like kind of,
yeah,
it was crazy, man.
But it is what it is, I guess. So I had a couple Blu-rays I watched this week. We just watched it last night, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Have you seen this yet?
Dude, I absolutely love that film.
How awesome was this? And we're like, it's 2.5 hours or something. And the wife and I are like an hour and a half in, and I'm looking at it like, it feels like it's been 10 minutes and nothing has fucking happened. But this is a great movie. You know what I mean? It was like he was just telling everybody's little stories and bringing everything together.
Right.
And at the end, it just went apeshit crazy, of course, like all the Tarantino movies do. But that was a good movie, man.
I love the end.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's an interesting ending.
Yep.
Yeah, I did. I liked it. I haven't bought it yet, but I definitely will pick it up. I just started watching. Apparently, there's like a big extended cut of Hateful Eight on Netflix that I'm going to start.
Oh, really? They're
doing it like episodes. Like if you go on Netflix and hit the extended version of it, it's like I watched episode 1 last night, and it's like the first 50 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't see how many episodes there are, but if it's extended, it's got to be like at least 3 hours long.
Wow. Hey, Bip Bop Boom says, remember concert reports on the radio?
I do.
When's the last time? The only thing I can remember is lately is if somebody freaking huge today is coming, like whoever, what's the blonde chick's name?
Taylor Swift?
Yeah. If she's coming, you'll hear like a 2-minute commercial for it. But
well, I think when I heard when he said concert reports, I remember like any band that was in Philly at the Spectrum or wherever, they would broadcast live from that venue, and you would be
live shows. Yeah.
You'd be able to maybe not hear the whole song and in the background, but you could tell somebody was there.
Yeah, or they'd have a DJ there going, "Hey, we're live from the Spectrum with blah."
That was awesome. Yeah. You're like, "Oh shit, they're playing." I just heard them playing, Back in Black or
right. Yeah,
cool. They don't do that. Actually, it was funny. The last time, not the last time we saw AC/DC, it's the first time I brought my oldest son to see AC/DC had to be the this. Was there one after Stiff Upper Lip? It must have been that one.
Mm-hmm.
But he would have been. I guess it was that one. Yeah, it must have been. And he dressed up like Angus. And our local Philly WMMR, they actually interviewed him on the radio. He didn't say much because he was nervous. But
Yeah.
the one guy they called him over because he was dressed like Angus. All I said was like, "Yep."
See, that's cool. That's when radio was kind of part of the area and local. You know what I mean? And it got involved. And hey, second caller gets free tickets to this, and then they would tell you the next 5 shows coming to the Big O Dome, wherever you were at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't hear any of that shit now. Now it's the same songs because it's all owned by one company.
Yeah. What is it? I forget the name of it, but I haven't listened to radio in it's been over 20 years.
The only local I listen to is a couple news talk radios and classic rock one. But it's the same deal. They just have the same songs all the time.
Yeah, Zeppelin, Van Halen.
And I was talking to a friend and he's like, all that stuff is just played through the internet. It's all
programmed.
Yeah. And like even a lot of times, like if you listen late at night, there's nobody at the studio. All the DJ stuff is pre-recorded.
Yeah.
And just spliced in where it needs to be.
Oh yeah, it was nothing like it was back WKRP time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, bro, we're already 40 minutes in.
So yeah, we better get going here.
And I know we want to make them shorter, but I'm telling you, we're gonna have a hell of a time making these shorter because we like to talk. What? So, all right, Star Wars. This is the second part of episode podcast number 2. It'll be the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker talk. What'd you think? I know what you think, but
I totally dug it, man. My wife and I went and trying to be, open-minded about it because we're already hearing negative stuff and all that. And it's like, give Abrams a chance here. He's coming back and hopefully the last movie sucked pretty much.
I have a theory about the backlash for this film, but go ahead.
I was just kind of hoping he wrapped everything up, and he wrapped it up enough for me. I was happy.
Me too.
So
there is some plot flaws.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. There's quite a few. And I know I told you this the first time I saw it was like, what I give it, like a 7.5 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Second time I saw it was definitely up in the 8s. It's staying there for me probably now is 8 out of 10 or 8.5 out of 10.
I'm totally right there, man. Like I said, I've only seen it once, but I'm totally there at the 8.5, 9 even.
Yeah.
Like the final scene, I'm telling you right now, I teared up.
Oh, dude, we'll get to the spoilers in a minute.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, it's all spoilers at this point. I don't care.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it and you don't want to get
now
spoiled, just stop watching now. So
I want to give you my theory on everything. You and I have been into Star Wars. I think we've talked about this before since the 70s. So we've been in this from the beginning. And I can honestly say from the first movie up until this one, I've been on board. So I think you and I have more of a nostalgia for the old rather than the newer characters.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of the kids that liked The Last Jedi, because there is quite a few of them apparently. And I really think that's why the backlash on this new movie is so bad, is because the fans of The Last Jedi you knew they were going to fucking hate this movie because it was just what do they call it? Fan
service.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
is that? It's like
I don't dude,
What's wrong with that? It's what.
remember what I just said about anybody under 30 can kiss my ass?
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with it. Honestly. People in that age or younger, they love to fucking hate. They love to hate shit.
Right. So, I mean, are they supposed to come out, make a new Star Wars movie and just blow everything apart and not have anything to do with the previous movies? And then the next movie, blow everything else apart and take off in a, it's
I
like,
don't know. It's the same. Some of the same people that bitched about The Last Jedi are bitching about this one. And it's like, dude, I don't know what more he could have done. I think the Emperor thing was total bullshit. The first time I saw it, I'm like, that is dumb. Why would you bring the Emperor back?
yeah.
But then the more you think about it and the more you see, I honestly think he's a clone. He's not the real Emperor. The Emperor might be spiritually running the body, but I don't think it's the same body as.
Well, that's what he wanted to do with Rey, right? He basically, it would have been him if they merged.
I guess. I don't know, man. Like I'm hoping when the Blu-ray comes out, it's like an extended version of it. I don't know. Because they didn't, they're at the beginning of the film when Kylo went into the Emperor's apartment, whatever it was.
Yeah.
He had that whole big glass, I don't know, what do they call it? It was filled with Snokes. Did you notice that? It's like when Kylo's walking he's inside the building already or whatever, I guess the Emperor's castle or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
When he sees the two druid-looking guys working on something, they pan over and there's like a huge vat, tall glass vat, and it's filled with like Snokes.
No, I didn't even notice that.
So Snoke, I don't know if the Snoke from The Last Jedi was a clone. They don't explain. That's like the major plot thing is like they were big on cloning in the second movie, Attack of the Clones. That was the whole big thing. So did he clone himself? But anyway, I don't know.
I thought it was a good twist because I knew Rey was not going to be nobody.
Oh, I knew that too. Yeah.
It's like going into the movie, it's like, okay, she's a Skywalker. She's Han and Leia's daughter or something. What's his name? Skywalker. Jesus. Luke's daughter, whatever. Right? And then going into it, then all of a sudden, she's Palpatine's granddaughter.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
See, I like that.
Did you really?
I totally didn't see it coming. It was like, okay, he just explained this, and I never imagined that that's what it was going to be. You know what I mean?
I think that was J.J. Abrams' easy way of writing out of a problem, honestly.
Yeah, but it never occurred to me that I like I said, I thought for sure she was going to be.
You know why it never occurred to you? Because the Emperor's like 100 years old. How can you have a granddaughter?
Right.
Like timing wise, it doesn't make sense because he was the Emperor. So this dude got some chick pregnant, and then they had a kid, and then that kid.
Well,
I know you saw like his son and daughter-in-law in the film leave her on Jakku.
Right. But, so they would have been about Luke's age, right? Basically. Because Anakin would have had Luke.
I guess you're right, yeah.
Anakin would have had Luke. And then if
at the same time? You think I guess so. I just assumed he was way too old to have a kid, but maybe before he turned, he had a kid. I'm sure we'll find out in the novel or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was a good way out of that. But
I think I would have liked it more if he didn't look decrepit, or I think if he would have just walked out of the shadows looking like he did in Jedi, that would have been a more powerful
image.
Yeah, like him hooked up on the thing with the dead eyes, like he's dead.
Yeah.
You know, is he dead or like is his spirit? Is his?
Well, that was like all the Siths that were like there too. It was kind of crazy. It was almost like this was their last chance to keep the Siths going, like where they were basically all at the end. It kind of looked like, or
Yeah.
So.
And that, like I said, there was a couple. I think the fleet of yeah, I knew I was going to draw a blank on the ships. The fleet that he had.
Yeah, the destroyers or whatever.
Yeah, that was way too big.
Yeah.
I could see if he would have had like 10 of them, but it was like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he definitely took it overboard on everything.
There was just, for me, I like it. I do like the film. I think as far as fan service goes, it does what it's supposed to do. The place that I teared up the most is when Kylo was in that decision of like, what am I doing? What am I going to do kind of thing. And you hear, hey, kid.
Yeah, I did not expect that either.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
And when he turned over and you see the exact moment when Kylo
comes
back to Ben,
yeah,
is when he calls him Dad,
mm-hmm.
and Han says, "I know." That's when I was like, "Oh shit, here comes the waterworks."
Yeah, that was a good scene, man.
It was great. It was like that's what I loved about it. Just the small nods like that. Like even if you didn't have the Emperor in it, if you didn't have the whole fleet of Star, whatever they're called in it,
yeah,
and that whole storyline, that would have made it even that much better. I think.
Yeah,
I think he went hard on the Emperor thing for some odd reason. I just think the Emperor thing was a little bit too much. And I know it's science fiction. Anybody can come back from anywhere, but I think the way they handled it at the beginning with the crawl, I loved. By the way, the crawl when they said the mysterious voice of the deceased Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's perfect because you don't know if he's dead or alive or if somebody's doing his voice or you know what I mean, like.
Right.
But when he went there and found them, I was like, man, I would have done it a little bit different, I think.
I think it's kind of cool that
it is cool to have the Emperor there, though.
Yeah, if you go back and look at all 9 movies, he's kind of
he's
pulling the strings behind everything. You know what I mean? And actually, it's Skywalkers that are fighting him the whole way.
Yeah.
And what happens? His own granddaughter
kills him.
Yeah. So, but what did you think about the scene? It was so funny. And I didn't buy it from the second it happened. Whenever Kylo and Rey were fighting over that transport ship, that
that was another. That was
another. Yeah, and it blows up, and it's like I looked at my wife, and she's like, "If they just killed Chewie like that, I'm gonna burn this fucking theater to the ground."
I did the same thing,
and I was like, "I don't buy it." And then like 5 minutes later, you find out he wasn't on that transport.
Yeah, and the only time you see there's 2 ships on the ground is at the very beginning of the scene.
Really? See, now I didn't even remember seeing a second ship.
It sits back a little bit, but
okay.
I made it a point to look for that when I was well, my wife and daughter left. Now they're coming back already. I don't know why. Yeah, I looked out for that when I watched it another time.
I didn't buy that at all. It was like I know what he was going for, but he didn't pull it off with that. And that's cool. But if he had killed him in that manner, that would have just destroyed the movie for me. It's like, Chewbacca's one of the main characters.
He's been in all 9.
Yeah, and it's so cool that he made it. He made it.
Well, actually, he's been in Solo too, so 10.
So and the thing with C-3PO,
I knew that. See, I knew that was not. He was not going to be wiped out. More so than I thought Chewbacca, that was not Chewbacca's ship. Like I really thought, okay, if they do this to Chewbacca, I'm pissed, but it's a cheap death.
Right.
I get it because it's the last movie. But with C3PO, I knew that he was going to get his memory back or whatever,
Yeah.
But I thought there was quite a few like Easter eggs and like kind of returns in it that I really like. Like what's his name from the first movie? Not very first movie, but the guy that was on episode 7. I think he played like Wexley or something. Snap Wexley. He was in that show, Heroes.
I'm not sure.
Hold on one sec.
Gotta love the dogs.
That little one's a pain in the ass. The scene I really loved, I thought, was when she goes, when Rey flies to where Luke was in the last movie, and she burns the Lita. She burns the TIE fighter. And she throws the thing over the lightsaber over her head, and he catches it. The Force Ghost catches it and says, like, the weapon of the Jedi should not be disrespected. Or deserves more respect. I thought that was a nice slap in the face to Ryan Johnson.
A little more Luke would have been cool. A little more R2-D2 in all of these would have been cool. You know what I mean? Like, especially this one. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't
know weird. C3PO was like through all these newer ones, right? The last 3 here. Yeah. R2-D2 was just here and there a little bit.
Yeah, he was just hanging out. They pushing the other one, the BB-8.
Right. And the new one was cool. I get him doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, Jesus Christ, man, R2-D2. You know what I mean?
They gotta introduce new ones to
make money.
Sell those plush toys down at the Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
And the whole, the thing like the Force heal shit, I ain't buying that either. Why weren't they doing that from the get-go?
Yeah. Unless you have to be so powerful. Like, I read about this because I was like, what did I miss here? At the very end, when she's back at Luke's home and she buries Luke's lightsaber, Leia's lightsaber, and then she has a third lightsaber. I'm like, where the hell did that lightsaber come from?
Built that one.
Yeah. And that's
that
what
was
I
her
read.
Staff. That staff that she, the staff that she carried with her.
Yeah.
I think that was built from that staff.
Right. That's what I've read. And there's something about the light, the color of it.
Yellow.
Yeah, it has more of where she's a powerful fighter and a powerful negotiator and all that. She's like everything kind of right one. So
yeah, because I was trying to think, was there ever any Jedi with a yellow lightsaber that I'm sure I can go look, but
yeah, it seems
like top of my head, I can't think of anything like that.
That thing I was reading basically said, it kind of listed everything, what the colors meant. And I don't think there was anybody else, maybe one other one that had that color. So like every color, dude, I love Star Wars and talking about it's cool. Some of these guys are so anally into it. You know what I mean? No, I mean, this guy broke down what every color meant, who used it.
I have no idea what that shit means.
Yeah, man. That's cool.
I was like, oh, cool, it's yellow. Like, I was fascinated with Mace Windu's purple one. I was like, man, that's fucking badass.
Yeah. Yeah, because you mentioned that in there. And they said that was Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson wanted that. That's why.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, and it was perfect.
Yeah, he wanted a purple.
Speaking of, I mean, he should have been in one of these movies somewhere. I know, like I said, there's easy ways to bring people back. So
yeah,
I don't know. I always liked that character that he had. I love Samuel L. anyway, but they should let him say the F word in the Star Wars. Like, I'm tired of all these motherfucking Sith.
It was kind of cool.
At the end, when she was hearing the voices of every Jedi.
I was just getting ready to say that. And the whole time you're sitting there going, okay, Yoda, 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 Yoda. You know what I mean? I was just waiting to hear Yoda's voice, and he's the last one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you had Luke, you had Yoda, you had Qui-Gon, both, I think both Obi-Wans.
Mm-hmm.
The old one and Ewan McGregor. Anakin. Mace, apparently. And there was one other one that's not so much in the movies, but apparently in the animated series stuff that I don't watch. So
that's another thing, man. They consider that canon, you know what I mean? And mix all
yeah.
It's like, oh my god, I can't keep up with all.
No. I did, however, I tried to watch the first episode of Rebels, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I mean, it's, you know, it's not something that I would waste an afternoon on, you know, watching, but I get why people dig it. It looks great. I thought it looked way better than any animated shit that, you know, cartoon wise that I've seen in a while. But
like I said, big Star Wars fan. The wife is a bigger Star Wars fan.
I know she is. She yelled at me on Facebook because I told her that Jar Jar Binks was the new emperor.
She's like, no. I think.
Yep. And I said, what did I say? The Chewbacca's family from the holiday special and somebody else ridiculous.
Oh, dude, you were pulling out all kind of crap.
She's like, Sith Lord. She's like, I will drive up to Pennsylvania.
But yeah, what I'm saying is I love that stuff. She loves that stuff, but it's like, man, I just take it for what it is. I don't get bent out of shape about it, and I don't sit around and dig into every minutia of all of it. It's like, man, it just entertains me. I'm good.
I didn't. I love the novels. Some of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read those anytime. As far as anything else goes, I'm strictly like movies. That's
I mean,
but I think that's why I like the novels, is because I can read them and picture the actual actors in my head.
Right. Like
if you read the Solo book, the novelization for the Solo movie, fucking great, because to me it's still Harrison Ford, not this other kid.
Right.
I had a real problem with that Solo film. I love the film. I thought it was great, but
he didn't quite fit, and I'm the same way. It's like I dug it, but it was like
he's not Han Solo, and then
he didn't suck. But
no,
I don't
he didn't suck
about him. He was just like it's not him. It was bad casting, I think.
I think it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
You know, like I wait 5 more years and do that whole fucking computer animated shit. It's just going to be that much better 5 years from now. I mean, look what they did in this with that.
Put Harrison Ford in it.
Make him a younger, use the kid's body that was in the film and use Harrison, like a young Harrison Ford. Look what they did with Carrie Fisher in this film. I thought there was one scene in it that didn't work visually, but all the rest they did.
Well, they said a bunch of that was actual footage from before she died, right?
Yeah, it was. It was footage from the first movie, not New Hope, but the first J.J. Abrams film.
Force Awakens.
Yeah, and then I don't know if there was anything left over from the last movie. There might have been. But they did use stand-ins a lot for her scenes in this film and used the upper part of her body.
Hmm.
But like I said, it looked great, except for there was one scene that I think it was an outdoor scene that the skin tone didn't match everybody else. But other than that, I mean, and I caught that by accident. I wasn't even looking, I don't go in looking to pick pieces of it apart, but
right.
That just seemed off to me. But
yeah, I mean, like I said, I just try and be entertained by all this stuff, and
Yeah,
I mean, as time goes by, you see stuff, and it's like, that doesn't quite match, or blah blah blah. But overall, it's like, man, I just want to be entertained by this, and especially this, because this is so much to do with our youth. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, man. It's like, man, I think that's why you and I were so bothered by The Last Jedi. Like, when people's like, oh, you killed my childhood, they weren't far off. Like, the feeling that I felt the first time I watched that movie, it wasn't far off. Like, I was generally, like, not upset. I was, like, pissed.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck did this guy do?
That whole movie, and to be honest, I can't even say I was pissed off. I just felt like it was a waste. It's like, man, you just made this movie, and, like, for what reason?
Well, after J.J. Abrams did this last film, I think he pretty much had the same idea we had. Like, what was the point?
Yeah.
I mean, you could watch episode 7 and go right into episode 9, other than the death of Luke, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to watch it again. That is definitely...
I think the death of Luke is probably the only thing in that film that you would miss if you missed that film.
Yeah.
If you watch 7 and then 9, you'd be like, all right, why is Luke a ghost? That'd be the only reason.
You're probably right, man.
I mean, there was a few like little things with Yoda and Luke sitting in, and he burns the tree, whatever the tree symbolized, with the Jedi texts in it, which again was another silly thing from that film. The Jedi texts.
Yeah.
Really, you need to read about it because it's like, okay. And I don't think I'll ever forgive Rian Johnson for what he did to Luke in that film.
I agree. He didn't come off very well in that film, and the same with how he ended him. You know what I mean?
That's not how Luke Skywalker's character as a person would have handled anything.
Yeah.
To run away from it and hide.
Right. And the whole, what do they call him? Jedi ghosting or whatever. Like when he confronted Kylo and he was shooting.
See, when they start adding shit like that into it.
Yeah.
Like, at least explain something beforehand, or at least see like a small vignette or something of them training it, and like have like show up one and then boom, he's over here, and like, all right, we got to.
Right.
It just didn't make sense, and that's another thing with this film. Again, I love the film, but there's small things in it, like when Rey had to put the lightsaber behind her.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the next scene, he pulls his hand up and he has it. Kylo or Ben. At that point, it was Ben. But I was like, fucking brilliant scene. But all of a sudden, you could do that now. Like, I thought it was great that you could do it. But there's been no explanation of it ever.
Well, the whole time, those two kept kind of like syncing up. You know what I mean?
Well, that was the last film, and then Snoke said that he was doing it.
Really?
Again, doesn't make sense, because if he was doing it, he was connecting them in that last film. But then
I didn't catch
film. It was all of a sudden this film that they could do it.
Huh?
They could do it on their own, which, okay, that's fine. That's not a big deal. But I thought that scene. It's funny because I love the scene, but it made no sense. Like, he pulls it up, like, oh, she's transferred that lightsaber to him.
Right.
But what makes the scene is as soon as he pulls the lightsaber out, he does that total Han Solo, like, pirouette type thing. Like, like he puts his hands out, like, as to say, like, here I am, come get me.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome. Like, that was awesome.
All right.
Like, the last movie when they shot all that shit at Luke and he went like this.
Yeah.
I hated that.
I did too. It was like, come on, man.
Yeah. But this film was kind of this film was like JJ saying, this is how you do it.
Right.
Like, Luke would never have done that, but Han Solo would have, and his kid's going to do it. It was great.
Well, thankfully, they've canned that Reigns dude, right? Because he was supposed to do the next arc.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson, you mean?
Or yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was him, and that from some people still say it's on, some people say it's off. Then they hired a couple of writers from Game of Thrones
Yeah.
that were going to do a trilogy, and that they left that fell through. I guess because the fact that it would take them too long to actually get it up and running.
It kind of sounds like they're not going to go trilogy route anymore. They're going to kind of do some single films.
Well, they said that, and then the minute the movie comes out last week, they announced a new trilogy.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, for 2000. Wait, it's 3 years. So 2022 is the first film.
Wow.
2024 is the second film, and then 2026 is the third.
Now I heard that Kevin, what's his name? Feige. That's probably not right. Feige or whatever from Marvel has something going on with Star Wars now too.
Oh, maybe. Oh, that would make sense because they're owned by the same company.
Yeah. But it's like, dude, I mean, he's doing great at Marvel. It's like, leave him alone there. He would probably do great at Star Wars too, but it's like too many irons, man. Something's not gonna work.
Yeah, I know. I think what they're doing with the Mandalorian's great. The Mandalorian is fantastic. I think
again, that's what's his name. Did the first
Favreau. Yeah, Favreau.
Yeah.
That's your future. I honestly think that's your future in Star Wars is the streaming services and the 8-episode mini series, or with the Mandalorian, it's definitely moving on to a second season, but they just did it. He did it perfect for that. He threw the nods out to who he should have. He kept it feeling old school with a new Western kind of feel to it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good with, I know they're talking about they want to move forward for the last I heard about this anyways, for the next arc. It's not going to be part of the Skywalker thing.
Yeah, it's definitely not part of the Skywalker. Early reports, well, I mean, I've heard rumors anyway that it was going to be the Old Republic stories, which is like Darth Revan and that's fine. I mean, I saw, I've read some of that stuff before. I have no problem with that as long as it's done right.
I'm kind of cool with if they keep it within the 9 films, kind of that era. Like I love what they did with Rogue One. Me
too. That's one of the best Star Wars films out there.
Yeah, and it kind of put everything together there a little bit. And I thought it was great. It's great what they're doing with Mandalorian. That's in that time arc too. You know what I mean? It's like
I still can't figure out what era that's from. Somebody told me it was 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
That's what I've read. Yeah,
but I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to. It's like
because the Empire's fallen.
But like like this Baby Yoda thing, and it's like, where did he come from all of a sudden? Which, by the way, he happens to be one of my favorite characters. That kid is cool. That thing is cute as shit.
But that's an interesting question because if that's before the New Republic, and then the last movie we just had was The Last Republic. So, like, where is Baby Yoda?
I don't know.
I mean, basically, that's a generation.
Have you seen episode? Have you seen? Well, I guess it is the 8th episode of Mandalorian. It just dropped today, which is
no. We haven't seen the 7th and 8th.
Okay,
up through the first 6.
Yeah, the 8th is the season finale. So
yeah, probably watch it tonight.
It was good. I was so hoping. I'm like, all right. Well, I knew it wasn't going to be Ben Kenobi because it's after Return of the Jedi. But I thought, how can Boba Fett not show up somewhere on this show?
Right.
And he didn't. I know he got out of that Sarlacc pit. He Yeah, his rocket pack. He flew out of it in one of the novels or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's still alive apparently.
Well, that was shit in the Rise of Skywalker when they're on that destroyer or cruiser or whatever, and I think that's where the scene. No, it was on the scene when they were. Shit, where was it? Where the like the stormtrooper guys are flying.
Oh yeah, that was on.
Wasn't that when they were fighting on the ship?
Yeah,
outside. Mm-hmm. Yeah, didn't one of them look over and was like, "Oh, they can do that now?
Well, they can fly now."
Yeah, it was like
because I think Chewie says it first. He like groans, and then Finn's like, "They fly now," and then Poe's like, "They fly now." It was great.
It was a great way to be like, "Yep, they're flying now." You know what I mean? Yeah. Even the characters are like, "They fly now," you know.
And it makes sense because I'm like, why didn't they fly to begin with?
Right.
But there's a scene in The Mandalorian in the 8th episode tonight. I'm not going to give it away, but
yeah, don't tell me. You'll spoil it for me.
No, I'm not going to say anything. But when you see it, just remember it's the scene with the 2 speeder bike, the guys that picked. No, were they? No, they're speeder bikers. From Jedi. There's a scene in the new episode where they're together off the bikes just bullshitting.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greatest Star Wars scenes ever.
Really?
It's them like, what are we doing? It's just great. I'm not going to give any of the dialogue away because it'll give a little bit away. But
right on.
But when you see it, you'll be like, this is what he was talking about. This is fucking awesome.
We're going to see Knives Out tonight. Remember I told you last night we were going to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we missed the first showing, and we got tickets for the next showing. It was like 3 hours later, not realizing we're old fucks.
Yeah.
We were just hanging around the mall. I was like, I can't hang around here for 3 hours. Let's go home. So we went over and was like, hey, can we change these to tomorrow night? And they're like, yeah, sure.
Nice.
Thanks. We're old. We need to go home and go to bed.
That's funny.
Yeah. Actually, we went in and got some bad Chinese food from the food court. And then we're like,
and you got some
I'm done.
Bad diarrhea later on that night.
Oh, yeah. But on the way home, we're like, what were we thinking?
They're full of MSG, man.
Yeah.
You know that shit? I never realized what MSG was.
Mm-hmm.
It like, they use it if your food is like on the cusp of going bad.
Really?
Like, yeah, like rotten, not rotten, but like I think about my wife, unless she's full of shit. I don't know. Maybe she's like, I call her what's his name? Columbo. That's my wife. She always researches the shit and then tells me these stupid things. She's like, yeah, the reason why they do that with MSG is because they use it just in case the food's going turning. I was like, I'm never eating Chinese food again.
It's bad enough to begin with.
Yeah, it is. It's full of salt.
It was just one of those moments we hadn't ate and we're like,
I know. I do the same shit.
It's like, man, that Chinese looks good. Then they hand you a sample, because you're walking through the mall and it's like, that ain't bad. Next thing you know, we're finishing up and like, man, this was a fucking bad move. Man.
Yeah, we better go home because something bad's about to happen.
Right.
Got to unleash the beast.
So, I guess we're gonna wrap it, dude.
Yeah, dude. Let's keep it to 45 minutes. We're at an hour 20 again. I'm telling you, this is going to happen every time.
Fun, man. Wait till we get other people in here. It's going to be even worse.
Yeah, it'll be fun, though. As long as we have the time, we'll make time.
Yeah.
We'll have to set a set time every week or something. But well, anyway, folks, episode 2 of the Mancave, manhole. The manhole.
Oh, dude.
That was fun, man. It definitely Star Wars was good. I figured I'd pick out the shit that I thought was a little goofy, but other than that, the rest of the film was great, I thought.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching. Any film's going to have something.
It's definitely better than the prequels.
Yeah.
I think all 3 sequels are better than the prequels. So
yeah, they
even last
year. Like I said, the prequels stories are okay, whatever, and all that. But then, that's fine. But just the look of them, and it just looks like a bad video game to me.
Now it does, yeah. Back then it wasn't too bad, but now that you see what they do with this stuff, it looks easy.
And Lucas went a little too far trying to sell his stuff, you know what I mean, with Jar Jar Binks and all that stuff. It's like, okay.
It's funny, man. Like every trilogy, there's one character that gets the push in the first movie and then gets put to the side in the rest of them.
Yeah.
And that's like Jar Jar was the prequels, and like Rose was in the sequels. Like she was a major part of the second movie, and then she was basically not existent in this film.
Right. Oh, one more thing I will say. What did you think of Rey and Kylo, the kiss?
Didn't bother me.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't. I knew it was coming. I'm like, they're gonna kiss, whatever.
Yeah, I was a little confused by it.
I was too, because it was more like a brother-sister thing than it
exactly.
was. Than it was like she fell for him. But I don't know if the kiss what killed him. Like he used the life force to kind of bring her back, but then the kiss, as soon as they kissed, he was done.
Yeah.
Died.
Because the wife and I both were like, I don't know if I like the kiss or not. I'm on the fence.
Didn't bother me. I could have went either way. Like if they didn't kiss, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah. It was like all through, it seemed like there was some tension between them, but at the same
time, there was
definitely
more like sexual tension, I think, in the first film rather than this film. Rather than Last Jedi.
But it felt like there was tension between her and what's his name?
Finn,
the stormtrooper.
This is going to bring me up to another topic about the new film. The Finn is force sensitive now.
Yeah, at one point, didn't he? What happened? I can't remember.
He knew Rey died, and then he felt her die, and then I don't know what happened when he brought her back, when Kylo brought her back, but I think because remember when they got sucked into that underground Indiana Jones kind of pit, with the quicksand or whatever. Mm-hmm. When they were sinking, he said something about, I have to tell you something.
Right. He never does he?
No, but I think I don't think everybody seems to think, that he was going to tell her that he's in love with her or something. But I think it's that he's going to tell her he's force sensitive.
Huh.
But I don't know why he'd be force sensitive. So that's another thing that doesn't, the explanation. Although, I guess with the last film, the little kid's out at the end of the film, grabs the broom and it hovers over to him, and maybe
there are more.
Yeah, that was his way. There are more out there.
Yeah.
Do you think that Rey was the chosen one, or do you still think Anakin was? We might have to do a part 2 Star Wars podcast.
I need to see it again.
Yeah. All right, do that. Well, next time we'll talk. We won't spend as much time, but we'll talk.
All right. We'll talk to Aaron about it. He'll be like,
hey, fuck you guys.
I'm 77. What the fuck?
Yeah, fuck you. He'll be like, Aaron will be like, you fucking nerds. You going to see Star Wars? I'm going to drink my leather flavored soda or whatever he drinks.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. Let's wrap this up for the end of December 2019. We will be back after the new year with special guests and more content, more my iPads, more podcasts. Greeno's Cantina. And we'll hopefully get some we'll get more people watching, hopefully get some interviews with some other bands and shit like that, man, or definitely other YouTubers.
Yeah, thanks to Cloudy Milder and Bit Bop Boom.
Bit Bop Boom. I gotta go check them out, man.
Yeah, I know you've watched some of his videos before.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Cool, man.
All right.
Any final words for you?
Go see Star Wars. Don't listen to them, what they're saying.
No, yeah, definitely.
Make up your own mind.
It's there's no reason for the hate. There really isn't. I don't get it. But like I said, people love to hate shit. So, especially in this climate.
No doubt.
God.
All right, man.
All right, brother. Well, I'll see everybody soon. Thanks for watching. Everybody that watched. We had a few people in here watching, so I'm curious to. I'm on the StreamYard site, so I'm curious to see what the YouTube site, if there was anybody over there. But
cool.
Hopefully that'll change. Come down the road, we'll get a lot of people watching. But
yeah,
thanks everybody for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Greeno, my brother. I'll see you soon. All right, my man. Peace. Cool.